I don't believe this is the greatest country that has ever existed because I'm an American, then that's sheer chauvinism. It's pointless. I believe it because it's true. That is it. If I were Bulgarian and I had the values I have, I would believe it. If I were Uruguayan and I had the values that I have, I would believe it. Because if fighting evil is the greatest thing that a human can do, then fighting evil is the greatest thing a country can do. And this country has fought evil more than any country in the history of the world. Barack Obama does not hate evil. He doesn't. That's the reason that he could cavalierly argue that we withdraw from Iraq as soon as he would become president. That's the only possible explanation. Because it is honorable to have opposed going in. That is an honorable position. I have never, ever disparaged that position. But once we are there, to leave is to cause genocide. Forget the effects of terror on earth, just what would happen in Iraq. It would be the greatest torture chamber in the history of the world. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Do you understand? Does the American people who cheer for the man from the manger, as that joke went, understand this? That to support immediate withdrawal is to increase human suffering exponentially. There is nothing noble or good about withdrawal from Iraq at this time. It is not, I say this with no joy, that there is no depth on the left. There is no intellectual depth on the left. I wish there were. I don't want our opponents to be as empty and vacuous as they are. I don't want that. It is not good for America or the world. I do not celebrate it. And by the way, there are very many nice people. I've never said they're not nice. They think we are all not nice. I know there are many, and I'm not being sarcastic. There are many nice people on the left. There are many jerks on the right. I've no doubt. I don't care who my neighbor is on the left or on the right. They could be equally sweet. It's a non-issue to me. But leftist thought is at this time an oxymoron. It is leftist feeling. It is leftist emotion. It is not leftist thought. I asked Howard Zinn, would the world have been better or worse had there never been a United States of America? And he said, I don't know. The most widely read historian on campuses in the United States of America doesn't know if the world would have been better or worse had there never been a United States of America. The questions that I have asked these people and the answers that I have gotten are just frightening. And I've asked about the Korean War to all the lefties who come on my show, and nearly all say, well, it's not something I've given thought to. What did we, if we're dying in Iraq for Halliburton, what did we die for in Korea? No oil in Korea. What did we die for? I am stunned that people don't think about it. We die for others. Here is the ultimate indictment of the left. They cannot imagine dying for others. Therefore, they can't imagine that America would. What you can't imagine you doing, you can't imagine another doing. America can't be that good. It's not possible. That's what the left really believes about this country. If any war was okay, and Howard was even agnostic on whether World War II was moral, if any war was moral, it was World War II, and nothing since then. And one asks, what about Korea? And what about Vietnam? What was in Vietnam? Rubber? What were we dying for in Vietnam? We wanted to protect at least half of that benighted country from the fate of North Korea and the fate of North Vietnam. Why is that not moral and noble? No one has ever given me a coherent answer to that question. It was a morally imbued act for the United States of America. To fight communism was a good. And so on these two pillars, that fighting evil is the best thing one can do with one's limited time on this earth, and that the United States is the greatest vehicle in history to fight evil on this earth, without obviously fighting every evil. The dumb questions I get, well, Dennis, are we going to remove the Chinese government tomorrow? So I said, I'm just curious, if we only develop a cure, if I were to work on a cancer I can cure, let us say skin cancer, but we have no cure for pancreatic cancer. So do you disparage my work against fighting against skin cancer because I haven't tackled pancreatic cancer? What kind of dumb idea is that, if either you take on all the evils of the earth or none of them? But I told you, leftist thought is an oxymoron. Therefore, that doesn't matter. It's an emoted response. It is not a thought-filled response. We are at war against the greatest evil on earth today, the greatest organized evil. Not one Hollywood movie is about this war, not one about one American hero fighting in Afghanistan or Iraq. They at least admit they're for Afghanistan. Why not make a pro-Afghanistan movie? Why not? The Kite Runner is not about American fighting. It's a wonderful film. It's a great film, in fact, but it's not about Americans fighting there. Hollywood, the least courageous place in America, Hollywood, and they claim that they are courageous artists. It takes no courage to crap on George W. Bush. It takes courage in Hollywood to defend George W. Bush. This distorted notion of courage. Make a film about Islamic terror. That'll be courage. To make a film mocking Christians takes no courage. What are they going to do, Christians? They'll pray for you. That's what they'll do. But there might be a different response if you offend certain Muslims in this world at this time. It took me a long time to realize the Achilles heel of the left, and it is the issue of evil. That's the issue. The left doesn't hate evil. It hates those who hate evil. It took me much of my life to figure this out. That's why the left hated Ronald Reagan more than it hated Leonid Brezhnev. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. The invective was much greater against Ronald Reagan than against Leonid Brezhnev. They don't hate evil. They hate those who hate evil. On the left, there is a subliminal, subconscious, deep understanding that they are inadequate to the job of fighting evil. That's why they get so passionate about trivia. To them, Islamic terror is not an evil. It is not. It has not been mentioned in any Democratic debate. The words have never come from one Democrat's mouth in any of the 20 or so debates. It's been mentioned in every Republican debate that had anything to do with foreign policy, not mentioned by one Democrat in any Democratic debate. We are fighting an amorphous, unidentifiable group. But there is an evil that they really are fighting on the left: carbon emissions. This pisses them no end. And I'm dead serious. Folks, people know the world is disjointed. People know it, left or right. So you pick what you think is the greatest reason for the world's calamities. And for the left, it is not evil. It is environmental degradation or something to do with health. I wish they hated evil people as much as they hate smokers. We would have a great boon in moral clarity on this planet if the left hated evil like it hates smokers.